your phone works. That's a shocking part. Not that it's on. It works, and mine not. It's silent. Okay. You know, at school, you would get a bad grade if that happens.
Oh, I know. I'm sure I'll get my my wrist slapped off Matty when we get back to the van.
Yeah, I'll have words.
Okay, so 6 years of touring, 4 mini albums. You took your time till you released your first album. So was it a process that you intended, to have a lot of experience, or did it just kind of, happen?
I think we wanted to get on the road, first and foremost, and get the fan base, and release, some things certainly, but just get out and play. We tightened as a band, and debut album's really important to any band, so we wanted to make sure that it could be the best that we could do. So I think it really worked for us to, gain such a strong, loyal fan base and release it when we were at our strongest, rather than just get in the studio straight away when we formed and get it out there.
So you played some songs and your fans gave you feedback. So did they really help you a lot, to see, okay, this is not so good, let's put it on an album, or how was it?
I think you can definitely tell, can't you, which songs go down well with the fans, and it tends to be the ones that we like anyway. So
you have the same taste as your fans then. So which song did today work the best for them?
I thought Portrait Red went down really well.
Yeah, it did.
I think the mosh pit formed somewhere around Portrait as well, so seemed to visually go down well.
They like that one.
Yeah, that seems to always be a winner, doesn't it?
Are you guys also the kind of mosh pit goer, or?
Maybe, yeah. Sometimes.
Everybody likes a mosh pit. It's always great to see. So
yeah. In regards to getting into it, I don't know. A few times, they're started by my mates, so I don't have any option really. So I just kind of end up in it, bounced around, and then yeah. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's good to get there. Yeah, definitely.
I usually get hurt when I'm in it.
Just going like this with elbows.
Yeah. You have to just. I know a trick. You have to just jump with the people.
You've got to go with the rhythm.
There's always one massive guy that's absolutely bossing it, though, isn't there? You've got to kind of.
He's the one that when you. Yeah. But he's the one when you go down, he'll pick you up by the scruff of your neck. Come on, boy, carry on.
Looking after the family.
Yeah, right.
So, what is your opinion about the headliner today?
Wow, Queens of the Stone Age.
They're definitely one of our favourite bands, without doubt. So what a great headliner! It's great that we get to play on the same day that they're headlining. So
I think this festival has got one of the best lineups that I've seen this year.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Amazing bands playing, like Sigur Rós and I'm Clute and Portishead as well.
Yeah, right.
We're just sad really that we come here, we got to set up and then play, do bits of press and then go. So we don't really get to see as many bands as we like. But
But if you could put up your own headliner, it's probably still Queens of the Stone Age. But which ones would you add?
Dead or alive, or do they have to be alive?
They could be dead. We can be.
If they were dead, definitely the Beatles. I think Joy Division. Well, obviously not all the Beatles are dead, but we can't do the Beatles without.
Would be incredible.
They probably wouldn't actually be that good live, I reckon, but it'd still be amazing to see them. Joy Division definitely for me. Nirvana, I think, would be pretty good.
I think Radiohead really turn it up. And when they've got a massive crowd, it's just they headlined one Glastonbury that me and Dan went to, and it's. In fact, I didn't go. I'd just seen them in the hometown, Oxford, but I heard it was incredible. They're such a brilliant band.
Rage Against the Machine, always pretty good to have as a.
Always good.
Bjork's always good, man. Yeah, there's too many to name, man. Yeah.
Do you think rock and roll is still so present as it used to be in the earlier days?
No, I don't think it is. I think
that's why it's so important for bands, such as Queens of the Stone Age, because they're
rock band,
massive port of call, aren't they, for young people getting into music, and they're really, really good, and you know, not watered down rock or kind of like the really fucking.
I think that's it. They just are what they are, and completely honest, which I think is like massively missing in the industry. There's most bands just aren't that anymore, and I don't know. I think in general most people would agree that rock and roll is missing. You know.
What do you guys contribute to rock and roll?
We are chipping away at it.
Yeah, we're
That's what
fighting
we're
for the
doing.
cause, man.
So,
Fighting for the
Community
cause.
service for.
Yeah, right.
So you mentioned honesty is a part of rock and roll, I guess. And I noticed in your songs you're honest. Isn't it sometimes difficult to be too honest? You know?
Yeah, but I don't think that should get in the way of art. Really, I think you could maybe be too honest in a point where it could hurt people, and you know, and that should be looked at. But I think when you look at great lyricists and bands that have been, there is always kind of heart and sleeve. You know, you're quite kind of surprised by what you hear. I think that gets lost a lot with music in the mainstream. Sadly, it all seems watered down and safe, and like the same old hooks, and you know, you start to lose heart. But there is still amazing bands out there.
I think an important point goes under in the mainstream industry, like this thing that is behind the music. Like I think you have it. Like, do you also want to push some people into a kind of a direction and to make them kind of, I don't know, think about something, like put some inputs?
I don't know. I guess like if Ali's lyrics do that and make people think and what have you, then it's great. You know, it's like any art, isn't it? You know, people see a painting on the wall and they stand there and think, you know, look at it, and for the artist it might be nothing, but to someone it might mean a lot. So if Ali's lyrics do, you know, promote, kind of promote a thought process in somebody's head and make them kind of start looking deeper into stuff, then that's great, man.
I quite like, you know, art and music that, you know, you might not necessarily like straight away, and it could make you feel uncomfortable. But there's, you know, I think that should be a good thing in art. That, you know, you shouldn't always have the safe option, and you know, it should kind of alert you to other things, whether you like it or not.
It's often that people don't go out of their comfort zone. And just
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. You should always test the limits, I think.
And how do you test your limits? Like limits in any way you wanna see it, an extreme, like jumping from a cliff way, or musically, creatively?
I don't know. Everything goes on in my mind that's kind of like testing me to the limit, where, you know, I can't kind of switch off and I end up pacing about. And you know, I write a lot about that, you know, through kind of anxieties and panics, and but no, I'm not really into extreme sports.
The extreme thoughts then.
Yeah, I think just writing it down and kind of reading and listening to other artists, and I don't think there's.
You kind of, I guess you can like push extremes in so much as kind of like, I don't know, like you're saying, like you read something that maybe wouldn't be the most comfortable of things to read, but like it kind of makes you start to question stuff. Maybe that. It's also fun to stand on the edge of cliffs. It's fun. I don't know. Maybe, you know, yeah. I saw there was a bungee jump out there, so like, there's a bungee.
Where is it?
Watch them jump.
Yeah, I watched them jump. Yeah. It looked pretty.
Well, she did it.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. So I'm always like that about them. I always think it could be pretty cool to do, but then once I'm actually there,
Were you ever standing there?
I've never done it. No, I've always been something that's in my head that's like, it'd be cool to do it, like a skydive or something as well.
You guys are a lot in your heads then.
There's a lot of stuff in our heads. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that's where
I like being spontaneous. If you want to bungee jump, I'm in today with you. I did it once, and I thought actually I will never do it again, but why not?
Yeah, nice.
Is it good?
Yes. But they said to me I should jump, and I just wanted to take my time.
Yeah, right.
And then you're gonna go down like with the lift, and then I jump.
Cool,
it was fast. It was I don't know.
Was it on like a crane?
Yes, exactly.
Oh right, sweet man, nice one. Yeah, that's great. Oh, good on you for doing it, man. That's awesome.
I was younger. I don't know. Do you have something like extreme? Also, extreme thoughts, extreme
thoughts. I don't know really. Like, I'm probably the same as Matty. I'm not really sure that I'd be up for jumping off a crane, but I guess I don't know. If you put me up there, I might do it.
Might push you.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to be pushed. Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Well, maybe some fans of you have an extreme feeling while listening to you live. Do you think that your live acts could maybe change the focus from your music to something complete else?
I think the way we perform live and what we try and do live is all about, you know, the energy and stuff, which is kind of like what we tried to put on the album. We try and get take the songs and just put the most amount of each of us emotionally on it, I think, and go from there. So I don't know. I mean, I think people coming to see us live probably will understand the band a lot easier or quicker than if they hear the records and stuff. So they'll know what it's about a lot easier by just coming to see us.
For your also facial expressions and everything that's with you, then,
yeah.
Or
yeah, it kind of all gets released when we play live.
Yeah,
like, it's kind of what the band's about, really.
We sit and stew at home for hours on things that are in our heads, and then as soon as you get on stage,
so performing live is important for being a good band. What other puzzles do you have to put together so it's a good band?
Well, I think for us, we always try and get it tight, you know, and rehearse a lot. Not that it has to be tight, but it just that kind of works for us. And you know, I think you can't get away from like good songs. You've got to have good songs, obviously. You know, so that's another puzzle.
What do you think about social media? Do you have to do that, or is it possible to, you know, turn your back on it and still be quite popular?
I think like bands these days have to be willing to do pretty much everything to get out there and to get people to recognise them, you know, and it's trying to use every outlet that you possibly can to get into the limelight somehow.
Yeah, there's no denying it's a great tool. Like, you know, I think when we were all kids and growing up, you know, that what was like there was MySpace and that was just coming through, and like, you know, so there wasn't like loads and stuff, and then suddenly it's like it seems to be like that is what every band is doing. So like Al said, you've got to accept it, haven't you? Really?
I think like labels used to put in a hell of a lot more money on, you know, getting it out to the media, and now it's more on the bands to promote themselves, which is, you know.
Yeah, I think it is a really great thing for new bands, the fact that they can, you know, they can go online and they can, through social media, compete with massive bands. I think the only downside is it just means that you get a lot more crapper music, you know, because bands get into it and they're more obsessed with the social media and they just forget about the music. So actually when you go and listen to the songs, it's pretty rubbish.
Yeah, kind of getting the hype through the media, and then when you actually see what it's about.
You were kind of on your own first. You produced your EPs on yourself. That's awesome. And now you decided to get some help from a label.
Well, we recorded the album by ourselves as well. Like we did have a producer, Toby Jepson, and got it mixed. But you know, we kind of self-funded that, and it was then that the labels came. So we kind of licensed our own album to them.
So you can imagine doing another one, just as you did it till now?
I think it's really important for us to have creative control and to we choose what music goes on there, and represents the band the best. I think that's like a really important side. Well, it should be of any band, but definitely of ours.
It's definitely something that seems to get lost with a lot of bands, isn't it? You know, as soon as they see like the carrot, and they
I think like there can be like nightmares of going to the label and then saying it needs to be more like this, and it's kind of like an impossible thing to go to a songwriter and say, well, it's not, but you just end up with something that's watered down and following a formula that's not really from the heart. So
I think it's hard to be a band and to find equal mathematical. I forgot the name, but it's German. It's Nenner, equal. So it fits. But if somebody else, another person comes in, I wouldn't want to make any compromises.
No, that's the thing. I think, like, the three of us, like, together work really well. Like Ali writes the songs and will invariably write them on acoustic. They'll come to us, we work on them, and I think, like, to have, like, say, someone that doesn't really know us, kind of thing, to come in and start poking around, it's like...
Yeah, I think also that we've started from grassroots and we've, got a, strong management and strong people around us, and we're willing to listen to criticism from them. So I think there is like a compromise to certain parts, but, in the 4 years that we've been touring, you kind of grow together and you know who to trust. So it's kind of about choosing your own team, I guess.
You wanted to say something too?
No, I think the two lads summed it up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I know how I'd want to do the second album and third album and fourth album, and I'd like to think that none of us are gonna listen to anybody outside of the three of us. So.
Mm-hmm. So you have some plans for the future?
Well, there's like a lot of songs that we're working on for the second album, and it's really exciting. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be that hunger to better the first album, and to keep on progressing, because that's kind of what I'm in it for, to do better than what you've done before, and grow as a musician and songwriter.
Yeah, right. Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's like the cliche, isn't it? The difficult second album and stuff. And like you said,
is there really a cliche there?
Yeah.
Well, with anything, like if you're writing a book or writing a comedy series, or
I think it's generally because most people that write the first album, it takes them a lot of years, so they have a lot more songs to choose from. And then when you do the second album, maybe you don't have as much time, but it just comes down to whether you've got good songs or not. I think.
Maybe it also depends that the first album, if it's good, then you get a lot of not support, but like also the dependence from labels and how, as we talked, and they poke you, as you said.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to be like, you have to do it fast, and But if you decide to do it like you do, so it's
I don't think it should ever. I think it's a bit of a shame when bands get rushed to put something out and then it's not. You've got to be like really happy with what you're putting out there yourself, because you're the ones that are really selling it when you're playing live, and if you're not completely confident or happy with the songs that you're playing, then
it's part of you that you put there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely, man.
Okay, well, that's it actually. I hope it wasn't too long. Is it too long?